Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, there has been some very huge news that has come out. Now, of course, this conversation that I'm going to be talking about here actually occurred months ago, right before KamehamehaCon, but whew, this is huge. The person who leaked these texts, they are going to be kept anonymous because they want to be kept anonymous, but I would not be surprised if they actually do come out at some point. But until then, as the request, they want to remain anonymous, and so they will remain as such. But this is huge news. Rekieta Law, if you know Nick Rekieta, then you certainly know he was the one who had these texts first, and finally was able to confirm these in his live stream last night. This is huge because what Chris Sabat has done here is, one, we're going to look at this. He has insulted the fans, but to top that off, he has also lied about these texts. He confirmed them, though, as true. Therefore, then going on to lie and say, oh, no, they never happened. There's a lot here. I mean, this is big. This is huge. So, first off, let's take a look at what Sabat had to say. So this was in response to the person he was talking to. This is what he says. "Oh, I will be there. I just don't want to make any announcements while Vic's autistic fans are slandering the entire DBZ cast because they'd rather see the world burn instead of accept the fact that Vic is actually an asshole." So, right here in itself, for one, Sabat is insulting the fans by calling them autistic, which never should you ever do that. That's not okay by any means. It's never right to attack or put down the fans. Ever. Never. That's wrong to start with. But then, him saying that the Vic fans are slandering the entire DBZ cast, yeah, no, that's not happening. In fact, yet again, it comes back to what these people do. They attack the people that are actually innocent, but then they try to make it out as, oh no, they're actually the bad guys. We are the good guys. We're doing the right thing. Yeah, no, you're not. And especially if you're sitting over there calling the fans autistic. Come on, that's just wrong. Shouldn't even be doing that at all. That's not right. You shouldn't do that at all. Plus, attacking your fans in general, period, that shouldn't happen either. I mean, come on. You know better than that. But to top things off, this conversation happened right before KamehamehaCon. This was Christopher Sabat talking to the person that will remain anonymous, obviously. But he was wanting them to actually see him, and so he was confirming that he was going to be at KamehamehaCon. Well, then, of course, what happens? Sabat later on confirms this very conversation. So this is what Chris Sabat had to say. "That was a private conversation, an old one. And if you understood the context, you'd know I was speaking about the farms, who literally brag about being weaponized artists. They have just doxed me, including photos of my children." Okay, so this right here, he's trying to say that the farms doxed him, right? And it was all because of this conversation. But in fact, this conversation occurred before that happened. And we're going to get to that in just a moment. But here's the thing. This conversation right here, what Sabat says within this statement, saying that this is a private conversation, he confirms this right here that it actually happened. He himself confirmed that this actually did happen. This text right here is Christopher Sabat's response. So this is what he actually said, and he confirms that this conversation happened. So we know that this happened, but at the same time, Chris Sabat in this very same conversation lies, and Nick Rekieta actually proved in his live stream that he lied. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. But the part that he lied in is right here when he says that they had just doxed him, including photos of his children. He's trying to say that this conversation is what got him doxed. But this conversation took place before the doxing. And Nick Rekieta proved that. That's what I mean by Nick Rekieta proved that. Because the date of this conversation came out first, and then his doxing came out later. So This is where Sabat is also lying within this very same statement of confirming that the conversation actually was true. Because the dates don't match up. And I'm going to show you how these dates don't match up. So, like I stated, Nick Rekieta was the one who proved this. And let's take a look at his tweets and what he had to say here. So this is what Rekieta had to say. Wait, hey, add voice of Vegeta. How are you talking about Kiwi Farms doxing you in this? They doxed you on 4/2/2019. That would be April the 2nd. This screen cap from my DMs by DeLorean. You're a giant lying pile of garbage and you know it. And so what this does here is this proves that Sabat is lying. And that the date of this text was March 21st, 2019. So he's lying. Not only that, but he gave away where he lived in his own information. I mean, how could you do that? I mean, that's just dumb. Really? To top that off, you confirmed the conversation happened, therefore you confirmed you said this. How stupid can you be? But also, and this is true, he treated Vic like he was a friend, a real friend to him, but then talked about him behind his back. Said these terrible things behind his back, but then, you know, who knows how many other people he's done this to? I mean, there could be several more that he's talked about behind their back, and they may not even know it. But with him confirming that this conversation was true, well, that only digs him a bigger hole. And that's on Sabat. That's completely on him for digging his own grave. And now he's got a delay in it because he confirmed this as true. Yeah, this doesn't look like a very good statement. I'm already just saying right now. It doesn't look like a good statement. But then, instead of denying this, which he could have done, he could have actually denied that this conversation ever took place. He could have denied that this statement was real. No, he confirms it. He went out and confirmed it. So this doesn't help his case at all whatsoever, and it shows you what he thinks of the fans. To literally sit there and say that the Vic fans are autistic. Let me tell you something. For one, that's a terrible insult. That's just awful. But secondly, I guarantee you that there were some Vic fans that went and saw him at KamehaCon. I guarantee you that there were some that did that, I bet. Other thing is that he sits over here, he takes all this money, and then he can just act like what he said is not a problem. In his mind, he's just looking at him like, oh, this is just a cash cow. That he can just make money off of this because that's what he's doing. He's making money off the fans, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care about the fans. And clearly this statement right here says it. I mean, it's just utterly disgusting. While he was also saying these terrible things about Vic at the same time. I mean, this is just a revolting thing to see. I mean, it's just disgusting. And this statement in itself is vile. It's just absolutely gross. And it's just something that I think is horrible. But like I said, you have Chris Sabat over here who just confirms it. He confirms he said this. He confirms he said this. He confirms the conversation. He lies about the doxing. I mean, you know, he could sit over here and think that it's fun to just say these things about the fans. I mean, come on. This is terrible. And whenever he goes publicly to meet the fans, it looks like the fans are having a great time with him, when in reality, this is the mask that he puts on. He puts this mask on, throws this persona on to seem like he's professional, and tries to act like he's having a great time with his fans. But in reality, when he is gone, when he's not in the public, he takes off this mask, throws the facade away, and this is who he really is behind closed doors. And this is awful, and no fan would want to be talked this way. And there are many fans of Chris Sabat. I mean, he's the voice of Vegeta, the voice of Piccolo, and people love Dragon Ball Z. And people really do love his acting as Vegeta and Piccolo. But then to see him say these things and act this way, yeah, that changes everything. And nobody wants to be treated like this, talked about like this, and it's just vile. And there are many things out there that Chris Sabat doesn't want people to know. And Nick Rekieta invited him to his stream to talk about it. Best thing for Chris Sabat to do now is probably to just go on that stream and talk about it, rather than it just coming out and then making things worse for Sabat. But the thing is, all this right here reveals what these people are really like. And it shows you that when Chris Sabat is at these conventions and that he is doing all these things with the fans, in reality, it's more so, I don't have time for you, I just want your money. And that's disgusting. That's awful, because these fans, they looked up to you. And now you say these things like calling the fans autistic. Oh, nobody likes that. Nobody likes being called that. Nobody likes being insulted. This definitely doesn't help you. And it only digs you a deeper hole. But anyways, let me know what you think down below. And thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And if you did enjoy, hit the video with a like. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Share this video with your friends if you found this informative or useful. And follow me on Discord. The link is in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow can always do better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you. And have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.